So obviously you could see that the flames and the plane, it just doesn't look right. And of course, the way the plane just falls down so quickly, it just looks like a toy, of course. Looks like you could pretty much light a cigarette by the fire of that, humongous, I don't know what it is, B-17 bomber or whatever it is, but it doesn't work. And, at the time, maybe it worked, but nowadays people are just too sophisticated to say that effect's not working. So not just any studio can just sit back and crank out miniatures for feature film and television, and even more so to stay in the visual effects business, like the continued 20-25 year run of New Deal Studios, which we're about to talk about. And they're based in Los Angeles. And their credit list goes for miles and miles. It's a 21st century creative studio known for creating visual effects such as X-Men, The Wolf of Wall Street, The Lone Ranger, Hugo, Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay? All the way back to 1996 is what they actually started on in a movie called Broken Arrow with John Travolta and Christian Slater. Broken Arrow was the code for a nuclear bomb, I guess, that was lost. Good, fun, kind of campy 90s action film. And they've done just a myriad of incredible miniature work, all the way up to blockbusters such as A Very Brady Sequel. Okay, so I was kind of torn. Should we talk about the amazing visual effects work of the Very Brady Sequel? Or no, let's talk about this guy. This is the Tumbler from Batman, Christopher Nolan's take on the franchise. And as well as a full-size, drivable stunt vehicle, albeit very uncomfortable and very loud, one of the coolest miniatures, I think, in cinema was for the 3 Christopher Nolan Batman films, The Tumbler. And The Tumbler, they built a bunch of variants of The Tumbler for the movies. And they're action models because they're going to be involved in stunts, explosions, smoke, fire. So you also have to build it fairly fireproof as well. But the variants of the Tumbler or the Batmobile are at 1:3 scale. Okay, because they knew there's going to be a lot of smoke, fire, explosions surrounding this little fella. And in 2008's The Dark Knight, they designed, fabricated, and photographed the 1:3 scale model of Lower Wacker Drive, which is a major thoroughfare in downtown Chicago. If anyone's from Chicago, you know Lower Wacker Drive. They built a fiberglass Batmobile and a garbage truck that the script called for colliding head-on with Batman, smashing against the overpass ceiling and getting driven back. Okay, that was what Batman is called for. What was he supposed to do in the script? Okay, the miniature of the Batmobile there was attached to steel cables and put on these skates, and they were pulled toward each other by the cable beneath the road, the model of the road, beneath a 120-foot replica of Lower Wacker Drive. And about 10 feet from each other, from the Tumbler and the garbage truck, they let the cables go, and they just let the model smash into each other. Okay, and you hope for the best. Right. Double Negative, a visual effects studio, still very popular today, cleaned up the miniature photography and augmented the miniature location with various 3D models, garbage cans and things like that could kind of fill out the scene. And Nolan has mentioned that he veers away from full CG shots. Now, you could do this work with all CG. You could model everything and animate it and, create the explosions and the debris, render it out. It's a lot of work, of course, but you can do it. And Nolan has mentioned that he veers away from these full CG scenes. He always likes to capture at least something in camera and enhance it later with CG. So that's a really important note to take note of here, is that miniatures are often augmented with additional CGI later on in post. Okay, so shooting of the miniature, special effect, augmenting and enhancing that shot, visual effect. Okay, and Nolan was so impressed with New Deal Studios, he used them all the way throughout to the third film, especially when they needed in the third film with a villain starring a man named Bane. a sequence where there was a turboprop plane hoisted up to by its tail by another plane because its wings were blown off. If you remember that sequence from that Batman movie, that was also a miniature shoot. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit now of the making of Christopher Nolan's sequence. By the way, some of these shots here, you'll notice another miniature back here. The Joker, played by Heath Ledger, he utilized school buses quite a bit through the movie. And obviously there's a piece of a miniature from a school bus that was undoubtedly used as well. But here they are, and you could just see how large the models are. They're really big for miniatures, and they look perfect. The weathering, the wear and tear. The lived-in look of these models. Here is, of course, them building the road, Lower Wacker Drive, with the cable poles that would be underneath it, utilizing a very large soundstage here. And then a couple of shots here from the sequence. Let's take a look.
I think the one element in the car chase that Chris Corwell just told me he absolutely couldn't do for real because of the logistics of the Lower Wacker location was the Batmobile going head on into the garbage truck, which we wanted to do in a very straightforward manner, and I wanted it to feel very real, very gritty. But Nick Davis and his guys were able to do this with miniatures.
And from the first movie, we had a 1/3 scale remote control tumbler, and we had all of the molds. So this time we used a company in Los Angeles, New Deal Studios, to build us some new 1/3 scale tumblers, and also build us a 1/3 scale garbage truck. And they built this on a 140-foot long stretch of 1/3 scale miniature Lower Wacker set. And underneath it was a rod system, which basically enabled us to travel the garbage truck and the tumbler in exact speeds that we could predetermine down the length of the set, and then we could smash together. At the same time, we also wanted our taking cameras to match the way that we'd shot a lot of the car chase.
They photographed it with the same exposures we'd had down below, which is slightly underexposed because we were having to use available light on the real location. So rather than overlighting the model, they actually really matched the way in which we shot the sequence by pushing the film a stop and very slightly underexposing the film. I think they were able to get something that cuts in very, very well with the full-scale footage.
Heads, I go through with it.
This is your life. You can't leave something like that to chance.
I'm not.
You make your own luck.
Hey, you wait like everybody else, pal.
What the hell is that? Obstruction ahead, obstruction ahead. Damn it, all units divert down onto lower 5th. I repeat, exit down. Exit down.
Lower 5th will be like turkeys on Thanksgiving down there.
Get us out of here, let's go. Listen, we need backup. We've got company. We've got trouble, guys. Lock and load! The hell was that?
These things are built for that, right?
He's gonna need something a lot bigger to get through this.
What is that? What is that, a bazooka? I didn't sign up for this! Look out! Look out! Come on, let's go!
Harvey Dent. Oh, excuse me, I want to drive.